The year 2025 has seen significant shifts in global travel regulations, with a few countries implementing stricter restrictions on travelers from certain nations. These countries, Syria, Pakistan, Iraq, and more, has banned travelers from India due to a combination of geopolitical, health, and security concerns. This video delves into the reasons behind this decision, the implications for Indian travelers, and the broader context of international relations that influence such bans. So, here is a list of 5 countries banning Indian travelers in 2025. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and comment your thought. Here we go. Number 5. Syria. The reasons behind the ban. Geopolitical factors. Syria's geopolitical landscape has been tumultuous for over a decade, primarily due to its prolonged civil war, external interventions, and fragile domestic governance. Diplomatic relations between Syria and India, though historically neutral, have faced challenges in recent years. Political disagreements over global alignments and Syria's closer ties with nations that are less aligned with India may have contributed to this decision. Security concerns. Syria continues to face significant security challenges, including the presence of extremist groups and ongoing conflicts in certain regions. The Syrian government's decision to restrict travelers from India could stem from fears of infiltration, espionage, or unintended risks associated with the movement of individuals across borders. Health protocols and concerns. Global health crises, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, have heightened the importance of stringent health regulations for international travelers. Syria's healthcare infrastructure remains under strain due to years of conflict, making the country particularly cautious about potential health risks. With India being one of the most populous countries in the world, the risk of spreading infectious diseases is a concern for Syrian authorities. Diplomatic retaliation or pressure. International travel bans are sometimes used as a tool of diplomatic signaling. Syria's decision might also be influenced by external pressures or a desire to align with other nations imposing similar restrictions on Indian travelers. This could be part of a broader geopolitical strategy rather than a direct reflection of bilateral relations. Implications for Indian travelers. Impact on Indian citizens in Syria. The travel ban has immediate implications for Indian citizens who are planning to visit Syria for work, study, or tourism. Those already in the country might face challenges in renewing their visas or accessing consular support. Businesses and professionals with interests in Syria may also find their plans disrupted. Economic ramifications. Trade and investment between India and Syria, though limited, could be affected by this travel restriction. Indian businesses engaged in reconstruction projects or trade partnerships in Syria may face operational hurdles, leading to potential economic losses on both sides. Diplomatic relations. The ban could strain diplomatic ties between the two countries. India's Ministry of External Affairs might seek to address this issue through diplomatic channels, emphasizing dialogue and cooperation to resolve the underlying concerns. Broader context of travel bans. Rising nationalism and border controls. The 21st century has witnessed a resurgence of nationalism and stricter border controls worldwide. Countries are increasingly prioritizing their national security and economic interests, often at the expense of globalization and free movement. Syria's decision to ban Indian travelers fits within this broader trend. Global health and safety standards. The COVID-19 pandemic underscored the importance of robust health and safety standards for international travel. Countries with fragile healthcare systems like Syria are particularly cautious about managing external risks. Travel bans can serve as a preventive measure, albeit at the cost of international cooperation and mobility. Diplomatic toolkits. Travel bans are often part of a broader diplomatic toolkit used by nations to signal their priorities or respond to perceived threats. While such measures can address immediate concerns, they also risk alienating the affected nations and complicating international relations. Navigating the challenges. For Indian travelers, Indian travelers affected by this ban can explore alternative destinations in the Middle East or nearby regions. Countries like the United Arab Emirates, Oman, and Jordan continue to maintain strong ties with India and offer diverse cultural and economic opportunities. For Indian authorities, India's government can engage in diplomatic discussions with Syria to understand the underlying concerns and negotiate potential solutions. Strengthening bilateral ties through cultural exchanges, trade, and humanitarian assistance could help rebuild trust. For Syrian authorities, Syria's decision to impose a travel ban on Indian nationals may address immediate security and health concerns. However, the long-term implications on its international reputation and relations with India should be carefully considered. Collaborating with India on mutual interests, such as trade and healthcare, could yield better outcomes. Number 4. Pakistan. Reasons behind the 2025 ban. Geopolitical tensions. The primary reason for Pakistan's decision to ban Indian travelers in 2025 stems from ongoing geopolitical tensions. Diplomatic relations between the two countries have remained frosty, with contentious issues such as the Kashmir conflict and allegations of cross-border terrorism continuing to dominate their interactions. In the preceding years, incidents such as military skirmishes along the line of control and accusations of espionage have exacerbated the situation. These incidents have led to an environment of mistrust, culminating in travel restrictions as a political tool. Security concerns. Pakistan has cited security concerns as a justification for the ban. The government claims that an influx of Indian travelers could pose risks, including potential espionage or activities perceived as detrimental to national security. While these allegations are often contested, they serve as a basis for strict immigration policies. Reciprocal measures. India's own travel and visa restrictions on Pakistani citizens have often prompted reciprocal actions from Pakistan. In 2024, India tightened its visa policies for Pakistani nationals, citing national security concerns. Pakistan's 2025 ban could be seen as a response to these measures, reflecting a tit-for-tat approach. Political messaging. By imposing a travel ban on Indian citizens, Pakistan may also be sending a strong political message domestically and internationally. Such actions often serve to galvanize public support and project a stance of strength in the face of perceived adversities. Impact of the ban on Indian travelers. Cultural and religious pilgrimages. One of the most significant consequences of the ban is its impact on cultural and religious exchanges. Pakistan is home to several sites of great importance to Indian pilgrims, including Kartarpur Sahib, a revered site for Sikh pilgrims; Hinglaj Mata Mandir, a prominent Hindu pilgrimage site; various Sufi shrines, attracting devotees from India. With the ban in place, thousands of Indian pilgrims are unable to visit these sacred locations, leading to disappointment and disruptions in traditional practices. Family reunions. The travel ban also affects families with cross-border ties. Many families have members residing in both countries, and travel restrictions create emotional and logistical challenges, especially during weddings, funerals, or other significant events. Trade and tourism. Although trade relations between India and Pakistan have been minimal in recent years, the travel ban further diminishes opportunities for informal trade and cultural tourism. Indian tourists visiting Lahore, Karachi, and other cities contribute to local economies, and their absence is likely to be felt. Broader implications of the ban. Bilateral relations. The travel ban symbolizes the deep-seated animosities between India and Pakistan, further diminishing prospects for peace and dialogue. Such actions erode trust and make future reconciliations increasingly challenging. Regional stability. Restrictions on movement often exacerbate regional tensions. In South Asia, where several nations share complex histories and borders, such bans can set precedents for other countries to follow, potentially destabilizing the region further. Global perception. The international community often views travel bans as counterproductive, limiting people-to-people contact and cultural understanding. Pakistan's 2025 ban on Indian travelers may attract criticism from global organizations advocating for open borders and human rights. The role of technology and virtual alternatives. In response to the travel ban, technology has emerged as a tool to bridge the gap. Virtual tours of religious sites, online family reunions, and digital cultural exchanges are gaining popularity. However, these alternatives can never fully replace the emotional and experiential value of physical travel. Number 3. Iraq. Reasons behind the 2025 ban. Security concerns. Iraq's internal security remains a major concern. Despite efforts to stabilize the country, sporadic violence and insurgent activities persist in certain regions. The Iraqi government has expressed concerns about ensuring the safety of foreign nationals, particularly in the context of perceived risks associated with Indian travelers. Reports suggest that the ban was influenced by incidents involving foreign workers and alleged illegal activities linked to travel documentation. Iraq's authorities have thus taken a precautionary approach by restricting entry to Indian citizens. Health and pandemic-related factors. In recent years, the global spread of infectious diseases has prompted countries to tighten their travel policies. Iraq's 2025 ban on Indian travelers may partially stem from health concerns, particularly if specific outbreaks or health risks are associated with incoming travelers from India. Economic pressures. Economic considerations also play a role. Iraq has been striving to rebuild its economy post-conflict, focusing on employment opportunities for its citizens. The presence of Indian workers, particularly in sectors like construction and domestic work, has occasionally been viewed as a challenge to local job markets. Political and diplomatic dynamics. Geopolitical alliances and diplomatic shifts in the Middle East may have influenced Iraq's stance. Alignments with other regional powers and their policies toward India could be an indirect factor in the travel ban. Impact of the ban on Indian travelers. Employment opportunities. Iraq has been a significant destination for Indian migrant workers, especially in the construction, healthcare, and domestic service sectors. The ban disrupts these employment opportunities, impacting thousands of Indian workers and their families who depend on remittances. Religious pilgrimages. Iraq holds immense religious significance for Indian Muslims, particularly those belonging to the Shia sect. Pilgrimages to holy sites, such as Karbala and Najaf, attract thousands of Indian devotees each year. The ban has created disappointment and logistical challenges for those seeking to undertake these spiritual journeys. Trade and business relations. While the ban primarily affects individual travelers, its ripple effects extend to trade and business relations. Indian companies involved in infrastructure projects, oil exploration, and other sectors in Iraq face operational hurdles, potentially leading to financial losses and strained partnerships. Educational exchanges. Indian students pursuing studies in Iraq's religious and academic institutions are also affected. The restriction disrupts academic plans and severs a vital channel of cultural and intellectual exchange. Broader implications of the ban. Bilateral relations. The travel ban highlights underlying tensions or shifts in India-Iraq relations. While economic and energy partnerships remain strong, such restrictions indicate areas of disagreement or challenges in diplomatic engagement. Regional dynamics. In the context of Middle Eastern geopolitics, Iraq's decision may be influenced by broader regional alignments. Other countries in the region may observe or even adopt similar measures, affecting the mobility of Indian travelers across the Middle East. Humanitarian concerns. The ban raises humanitarian concerns, particularly for stranded workers and families separated by the restrictions. International organizations and advocacy groups may call for exemptions or alternative solutions to mitigate the impact on vulnerable individuals. Public reaction and media coverage. In Iraq, Iraqi public opinion on the ban is mixed. While some citizens view it as a necessary measure to address security and economic concerns, others criticize it for limiting cultural and economic ties with India. In India, the travel ban has sparked discussions about the country's foreign policy and the treatment of its citizens abroad. Families of affected individuals, advocacy groups, and policymakers have voiced concerns and called for diplomatic efforts to resolve the issue. Number 2. Iran. Reasons behind the 2025 ban. Geopolitical tensions. Iran's decision to ban Indian travelers in 2025 is partly rooted in regional and international political developments. Diplomatic strains, influenced by India's growing alignment with Western powers and its partnerships with Iran's regional rivals, may have contributed to the restriction. Security concerns. Iran has cited security concerns as a justification for the travel ban. Allegations of espionage, illegal activities, and the risk of destabilizing elements entering the country have prompted Iranian authorities to tighten border controls and impose restrictions on specific nationalities, including Indians. Economic pressures and domestic policy. Iran has been grappling with economic challenges due to prolonged sanctions and internal economic restructuring. The government's focus on prioritizing local employment and addressing domestic concerns may have influenced its decision to restrict the entry of foreign workers, including those from India. Health and pandemic-related concerns. The ongoing risks associated with global health crises have led countries to adopt precautionary measures. Iran's 2025 travel ban may partly stem from concerns about potential health risks posed by incoming travelers, particularly in light of regional outbreaks or pandemics. Impact of the ban on Indian travelers. Religious pilgrimages. Iran is home to several religious sites of immense significance to Indian Shia Muslims, including the holy shrines in Qom and Mashhad. The travel ban has disrupted the spiritual journeys of thousands of Indian pilgrims, causing disappointment and logistical challenges for those seeking to visit these sacred places. Trade and economic relations. India and Iran have maintained strong trade ties, particularly in the energy sector. The ban on Indian travelers could hinder business relations, affecting sectors such as oil imports, infrastructure projects, and small-scale trade activities. Educational and cultural exchanges. Iran has been a destination for Indian students pursuing studies in Islamic theology, Persian language, and other fields. The ban interrupts academic programs and cultural exchanges, limiting opportunities for intellectual and cultural enrichment. Diaspora and family connections. Many Indian families have historical ties to Iran, with some members residing in the country. The travel ban creates barriers to family reunions and complicates personal relationships, especially during significant life events such as weddings and funerals. Broader implications of the ban. Bilateral relations. The travel ban marks a setback in India-Iran relations, signaling underlying tensions and challenges in their diplomatic engagement. While economic cooperation in areas like the Chabahar Port Project remains significant, such restrictions indicate friction in other aspects of the bilateral relationship. Regional and global dynamics. Iran's decision to ban Indian travelers reflects broader regional dynamics, particularly in the context of its relationships with neighboring countries and global powers. The move may also influence how other nations in the region approach their policies toward Indian travelers. Humanitarian concerns. The ban raises humanitarian concerns, especially for individuals separated from their families or unable to undertake religious pilgrimages. Advocacy groups and international organizations may call for exemptions or alternative measures to address these issues. Public reaction and media coverage. In Iran, public opinion in Iran is divided. Some citizens view the ban as a necessary measure to safeguard national security and prioritize domestic concerns, while others criticize it for limiting cultural and economic ties with India. In India, The travel ban has sparked discussions about the state of India-Iran relations and the broader implications for Indian travelers. Families, businesses, and religious communities affected by the restrictions have expressed concerns and called for diplomatic efforts to resolve the issue. Technological and virtual alternatives. With travel restricted, technology offers temporary solutions to bridge the gap. Virtual pilgrimages, online educational programs, and remote business collaborations are being explored as alternatives. However, these measures cannot fully replicate the experiences and benefits of physical travel. Number 1. Afghanistan. Reasons behind the 2025 ban. Security concerns. Afghanistan's security situation remains fragile, with ongoing threats from insurgent groups and internal conflicts. The Taliban government has expressed concerns about ensuring national security and maintaining control over its borders. Reports suggest that the ban on Indian travelers is partly due to fears of espionage, illegal activities, and perceived threats to stability. Geopolitical tensions. The travel ban also reflects broader geopolitical dynamics. India's growing alliances with Western nations and its partnerships with Afghanistan's regional rivals have created friction. The Taliban's closer ties with Pakistan, a key player in the region, further complicate India-Afghanistan relations. Economic and cultural shifts. The Taliban's emphasis on reshaping Afghanistan's domestic policies has influenced its approach to foreign relations. The government's focus on prioritizing local employment and reducing external influences may have contributed to the travel restrictions. Health and pandemic-related measures. Global health concerns continue to play a role in shaping travel policies. Afghanistan's 2025 ban on Indian travelers may also be influenced by health precautions, particularly in the wake of regional outbreaks or pandemic-related challenges. Impact of the ban on Indian travelers. Trade and economic relations. Afghanistan has been an important market for Indian goods, including pharmaceuticals, textiles, and food products. The ban disrupts trade relations, creating challenges for businesses and affecting economic ties between the two countries. Humanitarian and development projects. India has been a major contributor to Afghanistan's reconstruction efforts, funding infrastructure projects, schools, and hospitals. The travel ban limits the mobility of Indian professionals and aid workers, hindering the progress of ongoing initiatives. Cultural and educational exchanges. Afghanistan has historically been a destination for Indian students and professionals seeking cultural and academic opportunities. The ban interrupts these exchanges, reducing opportunities for mutual learning and collaboration. Diaspora and family connections. Many Indian families have historical ties to Afghanistan, with some members residing in the country. The travel restrictions create barriers to family reunions and disrupt personal relationships, especially during significant life events. Broader implications of the ban. Bilateral relations. The travel ban signals underlying tensions in India-Afghanistan relations. While India has sought to maintain a neutral stance and continue its development assistance, the restrictions highlight challenges in diplomatic engagement with the Taliban-led government. Regional dynamics. Afghanistan's decision reflects the broader geopolitical alignments in South Asia and the Middle East. The move may influence other countries' policies toward Indian travelers and reshape regional mobility trends. Humanitarian concerns. The ban raises humanitarian concerns, particularly for stranded families and individuals separated by the restrictions. Advocacy groups and international organizations may call for exemptions or alternative solutions to address these issues. Public reaction and media coverage. In Afghanistan, public opinion in Afghanistan is divided. Some citizens support the ban as a measure to protect national interests, while others criticize it for limiting opportunities for economic and cultural engagement with India. In India, the travel ban has sparked discussions about the state of India-Afghanistan relations and the treatment of Indian citizens abroad. Affected families, businesses, and advocacy groups have called for diplomatic efforts to address the issue. Technological and virtual alternatives. With travel restricted, technology offers temporary solutions to bridge the gap. Virtual meetings, remote collaborations, and online education platforms are being explored as alternatives. However, these measures cannot fully replace the value of physical interactions. The conclusion. So, guys, this was the 5 countries banning Indian travelers in 2025. Hope you will like it and appreciate it. Syria's decision to ban Indian travelers in 2025 reflects a complex interplay of geopolitical, security, and health concerns. While such measures aim to address immediate challenges, they also highlight the need for greater international dialogue and cooperation. For Indian travelers, this ban serves as a reminder of the dynamic nature of global travel regulations and the importance of staying informed about geopolitical developments. Moving forward, efforts to strengthen bilateral ties and address mutual concerns will be crucial in navigating these challenges and fostering a more inclusive global travel environment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icons for latest upcoming travel videos. Bye-bye. See you